Yo, what's going on, Miami Hurricanes fans and my college football family? Happy Friday! Cheers to everybody in the chat. We did it again. We made it through another week. Hopefully, you guys get some time off this weekend. You get to party it up or maybe relax a little bit when you get to be my age, 35 years old. There's not so much clubbing, hitting the town. You just kick back, relax, prop your feet up, sit on the couch, and probably fall asleep by about 10 p.m. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean, It is what it is. But tonight, we're going to talk about the University of Miami being in the spotlight once again, which is not uncommon. We know that Miami gets the views, Miami gets the clicks. But Miami has a lawsuit on their doorstep. So does the collective as well. We're going to talk about it a little bit. Obviously, some things were being brought up about this a few months back, but it's officially official now. So we're going to dive into it. I have an official statement from the University of Wisconsin, and I want to get your guys' take on this and get some thoughts and opinions and things, some reactions, all that good stuff. Let's see if this is working. Last stream, we could not pin comments. This stream, we can. Oh, buddy, we are back in business. Coach Hines, good to see you, bro. How you been? Thomas Shearer checking in. Nick Snyder, dropping out. Let's lower it just a little bit here. Let's bring it down. We're making some tech adjustments this season. I'm trying to go ahead and fire it up now in June. So, that way by the time August, September gets here, we're 100% ready to rock. So bear with me a little bit on and off throughout the night. Late night tones checking in. Good to see you. Miami should sue back. Wisconsin tampered with TBD. Well, Mike Jeezy in the building. Florida fan George. Jake, happy to see you, bro. Appreciate you being here. Alex Snow, no problem, man. Enjoy the dinner. Sean in here as well. Salty Ran. I appreciate y'all. Are we taking trying calls out? I have a take. Potentially. So I really had like two things that I wanted to discuss tonight. And it just depends on how long this discussion is with all of the Wisconsin suing Miami and all that stuff. But again, I have a couple of things I want to say and talk about it with that. I also want to give a shout out to Robin B. Re-upping that Canes fan membership. Thank you, Robin. I appreciate the love. Thank you. Now, it's not letting me pin that up, which is a good test. It's not good that it didn't let me pin it up, Robin, but it's a good test because now I know that for some reason it's not letting me pin up the membership, at least that I can see. So thank you very much for doing that. I want to make sure that you get acknowledged for showing me some love. So thank you. Thank you, Robin. My God, doo-doo. Yo, doo-doo. Good to see you, bro. So we probably won't hold off too long, but I did want to show you guys something that was posted up by EA Sports. EA Sports. So, the CFB 26 game, the new one, is getting closer and closer. Yes, the virtual season is still happening. We're waiting for the CFB 26 release so we can have the current, most up-to-date rosters with none other than Carson Beck as the starting quarterback for the virtual Canes. I'm really pumped and still very excited about it. Coach Coop plays version on the day after is going to make a return. But I wanted to show you guys in the newest video that they posted. They did like a breakdown of features in the game and like what's going to be new this year. I want to ask you if you notice anything. Let me take you over. I'm just going to play it. I'm going to put it on repeat. It's an 11-second clip. I just want to ask you guys if there's anything in particular that that you notice? I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. Good to see you, Travis. I'm just going to play it. You tell me. I don't know. You tell me.
Will now have more limited vision when surrounded by tall. Shorter quarterbacks will now have more limited vision when surrounded by taller linemen, and receiver icons will fade as they come in and out of view. Shorter quarterbacks will now have.
One more time. One more time. I'll turn it up. I'll turn it up.
Shorter quarterbacks will now have more limited vision when surrounded by taller linemen, and receiver icons will fade as they come in and out of view.
What do we notice? What do you know? Shorter quarterback, Thomas Castellanos, throwing an out-of-reach ball. Is this, I want to use the correct terminology here. Is this foreshadowing? I don't know, man. I don't know, but I thought it was pretty funny. Florida State fans were on social media, and they were like, of course, right? Let's show off this new feature where shorter quarterbacks might have a little bit of a harder time when it comes to vision and things, and it's freaking Thomas Castellanos. You know, I thought that was pretty freaking funny. Chris checking back in. Chris doesn't completely hate me. He's still here, even though I know it seems like I continue to ignore him. What's up, Chris? I would like to get your take on this tonight, if you have a few minutes. Straight Street 6 checking in as well. My friend, random stream on a Friday with Coop. Appreciate you being here. So let's go ahead and dive in and discuss this just a little bit. And I welcome reactions to this, thoughts. If you want to say Luke Fickle, if you want to say, hey, bro, you know what? This one's for you. This is how I feel about this. Screw you. F Wisconsin. We hate those guys. They took my favorite former quarterback, Tyler Van Dyke. Whatever you want to say. Whatever you want to say, it's up to you. I'll never pronounce it that way. I'll just be honest, Chopper Guy. I will never pronounce it like that. It's gonna be Lanos for me. It's gonna be Lanos for me. We'll see. So let's talk about it here for a minute. Wisconsin has officially sued the University of Miami and Miami's collective for tampering. So there is an official lawsuit here, and they stated that a Miami coach and prominent alumnus made an in-person visit to the Florida home of one of Xavier Lucas's relatives. And this happened while he was still, of course, enrolled at Wisconsin. And the lawsuit doesn't appear to specify if Lucas was there or not. That information has either not been put out there, or they just don't really know if he was or wasn't there. But they know, in fact, that there was a family member there in the home. And they stated that the Miami coach gave Lucas a compensation commitment if he agreed to leave the school and come to Miami. And keep in mind here that Lucas was not in the transfer portal and actually never made it into the transfer portal. He had signed this contract, or potentially multiple ones, with Wisconsin. And, that's kind of a whole separate argument here. But either way, he was not in the transfer portal. Miami was not supposed to have contact. But they said that they contacted a family member in their home and said, we will pay you more money than Wisconsin if you will come to Miami. They also noted the amount offered. Get this. They said that the amount offered was more than any player on Wisconsin's roster. So they said Miami was dropping the bag. They were paying the big bucks for Lucas. And they said that they're seeking damages in an amount to compensate for the harm they suffered as a result of this alleged tampering. So this is a big deal. Whether you think that Miami is guilty or not, whether you think that tampering happens all the time across all of college football, which is what I believe. That's been the case for a very long time. Everybody does it. It's just about who gets caught. It still wouldn't change the fact that Miami would get in trouble for this if that did happen. And what I am concerned slightly about, I'm just going to come out and say it, is them trying to make an example out of Miami. If they have some evidence, I don't really know how that works with the whole he said, she said, if that's all they're really going off of. They have to go off of this relative's word, I guess. And it's also interesting because if the relative is coming out and saying these things, Lucas is already enrolled at Miami. So Lucas wants to be at Miami. So is there some family drama there? Did they want him to stay at Wisconsin and now they're trying to put Miami on blast? Did they slip up and say something? Did Wisconsin blackmail the family member? I don't know. I don't know. But I would be worried about, them trying to make an example out of Miami with this. They've probably been waiting for an opportunity to do something like this when it comes to the transfer portal and tampering and NIL and all that stuff. But I do also have an official statement we can look at from Wisconsin. Did he leave Wisconsin? He did. He is enrolled at Miami and has been for a bit and participated in practice and everything. What's up, Brandon Brock? Good to see you on again. Simulations should be starting pretty soon, shouldn't it? Yeah, it got delayed a little bit due to some roster stuff with the new game, but it should be firing up here in the next couple weeks. Yep. So, of course, the college football world is all pointing and laughing at Miami, saying, hey, we knew y'all were a bunch of cheaters. Of course, it would be Miami that was tampering. I'll leave that up to you on if you think that Miami did or didn't tamper. But it was interesting because Wisconsin made it known that they want a jury. They want trial by jury. They're going to present their evidence, and they want to come down hard on Miami for this. So here's their official statement from the University of Wisconsin. I featured Luke Dickel here on the screen. Now, bear with me. This is a long one. Hold on. This is a long one. Give me a second. And we'll talk about it. The University of Wisconsin-Madison remains committed to ensuring integrity and fundamental fairness in the evolving landscape of college athletics. After reviewing all facts and evaluating options, the university today filed a complaint in Wisconsin State Court outlining our allegations against the University of Miami. While we reluctantly bring this case, now, bro, come on now. Come on now. Let's be real here. While we reluctantly bring this case, we stand by our position that respecting and enforcing contractual obligations is essential to maintaining a level playing field. In addition to our legal action, we will continue to be proactive to protect the interest of our student athletes, our program, and the broader collegiate athletics community. We appreciate the support of our university leadership and the Big Ten Conference. As we move forward, we will respect the court process and provide further updates only as appropriate. Interesting. So this is something that if they don't have the facts here, if they don't have evidence that they can present, this is a pretty big deal because this puts Miami on blast, and it makes you wonder, would Miami potentially pursue any action here as a, frick you, Wisconsin, putting us on blast, trying to make an example of us. There's been no official statement from Mario Cristobal, anyone at the University of Miami yet. All of this came out today.
To wear the U on the side of your helmet.
Wisconsin is F. O. S. Go Canes, hooray, 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 hooray.
Well said, Tropical. Thank you for the 305. Let me ask initial reaction here. Just initial thoughts. Is Wisconsin full of BS, or do you believe that Miami did possibly tamper and Miami just got caught? Because the reality is, I do believe that tampering has been part of college football for years and years and years and years, going way the heck back. Is this something where Wisconsin is just really butthurt and they're saying, screw you, Miami, you took a player that we did not want to lose, and they took it kind of personal and they're wanting to take this thing to court? What do you guys think? It's okay to just give an opinion on it. I mean, we don't have all the evidence. All we can do is go off of what everybody's saying, what Miami's putting out, what Wisconsin is putting out. What's up, Randy? Nick 305 Canes, what did you do? It's always Miami, Cypher. It's always Miami. Jeffrey says frivolous lawsuit. This is interesting, as didn't the player say Wisconsin blocked him from entering the portal? They did. So he wanted to submit his name to be entered into the transfer portal. I believe the school has, 48 hours to do so. They did not. They refused to let him enter the portal. But they said that they had some sort of contract with him. I believe he had multiple contracts that he had signed. There was an argument about saying how they couldn't enforce that because some things that were outlined in that contract were not going to take effect until later this year. And that was something, several months ago. So it's a big, nasty mess. Now, it is interesting as well because the Big Ten has been very vocal about this and said, we side with Wisconsin. So the Big Ten is backing them up 100%, and they'll do whatever they need to do to help Wisconsin in proving Miami guilty in this case, which is another side of this to think about is, there were rumors of potentially Miami maybe going to the Big Ten at some point, right, in the future. If the ACC does dissolve, how would this possibly impact that? You have a conference that is siding with Wisconsin here and helping do whatever they need to do to go after Miami. Would that ruin a potential future relationship? Or does anybody care? Just something to think about. Randy says, butt hurt. What's up, Kevin Porter? But what's interesting here, let me show you this. Let me show you an article that was posted today. Are they just mad because they got stuck with Tyler Van Dyke at one point before? Are they mad about that? Because, he went there and then got hurt and then left for SMU, for mini Miami? An article posted today from the Daily Cardinal. Badger football penalized by NCAA for recruiting violations. A series of illegal phone calls, contact to a recruit. No, recruits, plural, recruits, in 2023 draws a fine, probation, and a series of individual sanctions. And here's what's interesting. You're thinking, okay, Coop, 2023, they've learned their lesson. This was Luke Nichols' first full season with the Wisconsin Badgers. So this was Fickle leading the way. And they just got smacked today by the NCAA with sanctions, probation, and fines for recruiting violations. Now, I will say this. That doesn't make it right. If Miami did, in fact, tamper, and this is coming from a Miami fan, of course, Miami fandom first, but I try to step back and be real and honest about things. I still think everybody tampers, but it's just so funny that they're going after Miami so hard. Like we saw this months ago, where it was up in the news, And everybody was wondering, okay, are they just going to make a big fuss out of this and then do nothing? It's probably not going to be that big of a deal. They'll talk about it. They'll write some articles and say, wow, something needs to be done about this. Nothing ever happens. No, they're pursuing legal action. But it's just funny then that all this comes out today, and then we're also reading articles about them getting recruiting violations under Fickell. So is this dude is he pissed, and is he pushing to really have them go after Miami? About to have dinner. I can call you in later and walk you through the legal side of this, but I don't see this ever going to a jury. This will take 2 to 3 years to even get the trial started. So that's what's crazy then. So are you telling me that Wisconsin and the Big Ten are willing to waste all of that time, money, and resources to pursue legal action against Miami here? Or are they going into this knowing that they're just trying to maybe make an example either out of Miami or the system so it could maybe initiate some change or jumpstart, some change? No, you see what I'm saying? Like, knowing that they're not going to win this battle against Miami specifically, but maybe it kind of gets something going and they work on some changes. Could be if the damages are huge. It would just be interesting to talk about this. But Wisconsin said, hey, we want a trial by jury. It could be bad for Miami just because Miami is going to be all in the news over this thing and everybody's going to be talking about it. And then you're still going to have Xavier Lucas over here trying to play some football. He said, I don't want to be at Wisconsin anymore, which we also talked about in a video several months ago where we said, where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line here with, okay, we have this guy under contract, but he don't want to be here. So you can't just rip up contracts just all the time just because somebody changes their mind. Well, we'll just rip up this contract, no big deal. But at the same time, as much of a hoopla there was about all of this. All right, sounds good, Chris. I just find it interesting that this kid or this man, whatever you want to consider, this adult kid, whatever you guys consider the players. They're making money now, so I consider them mostly adults. Do you really want to push for him to stay when he just truly does not want to be there? If I'm not mistaken, he was from Fort Lauderdale. So there were a lot of talks of, maybe him wanting to go back home. I think that sometimes they're giving them money, but I do think that sometimes with the way they approach some of these deals and stuff, they know that these guys are, 17, 18, 19. You still put pen to paper, but is there a chance that sometimes it's a little kind of taking advantage of them still? They're making big time money, but I said all that just to say they pushed so hard to keep him. I remember they said that the family had said they had touched base with Fickell, and they had said, hey, can we get our son out of this? He wants to go back to Florida. He wants to go to Miami. And Fickell doubled down and said, heck no. He's a Badger. He's staying at Wisconsin. He put pen to paper on these NIL deals, these contracts. He's staying. He's not leaving. And again, would not submit the paperwork for him to enter the transfer portal. And now here we are. Miami's getting sued. BS move by Wisconsin for a lot of reasons. Reddit was saying it's about getting a ruling more than winning, and that's why the Big Ten is joining in. That's what I think, Mickey. 100%. I think that it's something else with them wanting some changes and stuff to happen in this NIL space and transfer portal stuff. And it's just the perfect opportunity to take a shot at Miami here and try to get something rolling. There was no contract, though. And see, that's where everything's up for debate. Lucas's lawyer came out and said, what is it? I don't want to misspeak here, but he basically had kind of said, like, it wasn't really in effect yet. It was... Either way, the thing is, no matter how we feel about it or what they say, or right, not a contract. Maybe I'm using the incorrect terminology, but you're still going to see some people say it was. The argument here is that you're going to have the back and forth from people. Either way, Wisconsin believes that they have enough here to where they are going to spend the money and use those resources to go after Miami in court for this. So no matter how we want to look at it, what angle we want to take, they are suing the University of Miami and Canes Connection, the collective. And they were saying that he was again approached by a Miami coach who is unnamed at this time. So they haven't announced him, and a prominent alumnus, which Miami likes to do. A lot of schools like to do that. You bring in a big time flashy name, make an impression, which would still be kind of interesting then if Lucas wasn't even home, if he wasn't there, like if he wasn't in Florida, you know? Yeah, and that's kind of the thing. Contract that wasn't even approved to be valid until a later date. But Wisconsin is still arguing that he was not going to be able to leave because, again, they never put his name in the transfer portal. Want to give a shout out also to Thomas Shearer, 14-month resub with the Canes fan membership. Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate the love, bro. Wisconsin cannot go to trial because that would open them up to discovery. Their dirty laundry would be aired. It doesn't change the situation that Miami finds themselves in, but I will say that if you were to dig deep, I feel like pretty much with every school, you are going to find something. It's just a little frustrating because Miami always seems to find themselves in the spotlight, whether it be good or bad. You know, it's us against the world, and it's always Miami and Thug You and the cheaters and all this stuff. It seems like it's always Miami having to deal with these things. So I just hate at some point, like, does Miami just completely ignore it? Do they go into damage control mode and do they put a post out on social media denying the claims, or do they fire back? It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I say it depends on how the college football landscape goes at Miami for this. It's my problem with NIL. They need more clear actual contracts and deals with agreed upon consequences for breaking them. And I mean, dude lawyered up. He lawyered up whenever he was making the move to Miami. And they got it done. And again, as I said, he's already enrolled at Miami. I believe that he even participated during spring practice. So then is still more of the point of it just taking a shot at Miami and again trying to jumpstart some change here with all of that. That seems to be what most people are leaning towards. I think Miami is pretty much ignoring it. I don't think that they really, when all of these accusations and stuff were made several months ago, did Miami ever address it? I don't think that they did. I don't remember them putting out any sort of statement or anything about it. I don't believe that they did. Badgers self-reported their recruiting violations 2 years ago because this was coming, cleaning out the closet before putting themselves in the spotlight. Yeah, and he did go through an affiliated, a well-known Miami-affiliated lawyer. Yeah, I'm going blank on his name at the moment, but he did. Can legal action be taken if even the NCAA has allowed this move to happen? If the NCAA found no harm, how can a school decide it's fair play to sue? I mean, I guess also at the end of the day, so like let's assume that they are actually suing them. Let's assume that their plan is to take this to court and they want to see where things go. Can't you pretty much just kind of sue anyone for anything if you want? It just doesn't mean you're going to win. You just have to pony up and take them to court. I mean, can't they? If they just want to sue Miami, they can sue Miami, right? Big Ten may. I know it's a little more complicated than that, but attempting to damage Miami's brand and image, so there's grounds for a countersuit. That's what would be also really interesting. Does Miami attack this? Because I do think that, just on the surface, it could be a little damaging, just because of all the things that are going to be said on social media and all these news sites. If I go, look, check this out. If I go to Google, and I type in Miami Hurricanes football, you're probably going to see a bunch of articles I clicked reading about it. What does it say in the news? Wisconsin sues Miami for tampering. Wisconsin NIL collective sue Miami. Alleged tampering. Major lawsuit rocks college football. Could change the sport forever. Tampering or just a transfer. Miami Hurricanes face legal heat from Wisconsin. It's bad publicity. And that's going to be all about Miami here for the next couple of weeks. So you're right. Maybe you could, maybe you could. Thanks to the Notre Dame matchup, who would be surprised by this? It's all over social media. Not that it really matters at the end of the day, but again, you don't want all that negativity surrounding your brand and your program. And I found it funny because what Miami fans are doing, and I thought about jumping on this, but I try to not say too much, is they were jumping on social media saying, hey, players, look at this. Is this the kind of team you want to play for? I'm not talking about Miami. I'm talking about Wisconsin here. Do you want to go to a school where, again, we can sit here and argue about the whole, what did he sign? What did he not sign? Whatever. But everyone's saying this guy wanted out. He wanted to leave. And the program said, no, you're staying. You're not leaving. And then when he left, it seemed like they kind of tried to smear his name and Miami. And then now, months later, they're suing Miami. So Miami fans are taking to social media and they say, is this the coach and the program that you want to play for? Is this the conference that you want to be in? When they come out and they're very vocal and say, we're backing this lawsuit? Because then they're also kind of, in a way, making Xavier Lucas look bad. What's up, Duck? Good to see you, bro. Miami and FSU both want to join the Big Ten. So I think the SEC is a better fit for FSU. So that's the implications I'm curious about. Same. We talked about, would this be something that would ruin that relationship with the Big Ten being so vocal about it? Maybe Big Ten just wants the ACC to waste money. See, big brain move. See, what if the Big Ten is 2 steps ahead of everybody? They want the ACC to try to come to Miami's rescue, waste a ton of money, dissolve the conference, and then they'll just absorb all of the teams. Huh? Yeah. What's up, William? They should countersue for tampering with Hill, who was committed before entering the portal. I mean, again, everybody talks about Horton. It was the Horton, Alabama situation, right? We know, like, let's stop playing around. We don't have to have on the tinfoil hat. We know that tampering happens all the time, just about every single program. But Wisconsin took this one personally. And here we are. ACC already has wasting money down. I don't think they need help. Let's see. SEC is a better fit for Miami as well. All that extra traveling to play in the snow is dumb. Yeah, for selfish reasons, I would not want Miami to go to the Big Ten. I don't really... The academic side, I think, is something that people were arguing. But SEC, I live in SEC country. So if Miami was regularly playing Tennessee, some of these teams over here actually in the South, I don't want to travel and go up to these games up north and more out west. I would take Miami playing in the SEC all day, every day, but it's because I live in Tennessee. So it'd be pretty cool to have, if Miami regularly played the Volunteers, Neyland Stadium is in my backyard. So that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, Florida team in the Big Ten would be weird. What's up, Robert? Digging the hat. If true, what implications will happen to Ruiz? There's really nothing here that would involve John Ruiz. So now that Miami has the Canes Connection Collective, John Ruiz, in a way, from what I've been told, is a part of that a bit. But John Ruiz is not nearly involved with the NIL side of things as he was when it first kind of fired up. He come in and kind of set the standard, and he was throwing money around, and he was very vocal on social media. And if you noticed, that's not the case anymore. So it's all about, now it all runs through that collective Canes Connection. And I've heard that he still helps out with some things here and there, but he has bigger fish to fry. He's a busy guy. I think, if I'm being honest, they told him to dial it back a bit because he was getting into heated debates with other fans and stuff on social media. And I think that Miami was probably like, okay, can we take a little bit of a step back here? Because look, I have no issues with John Ruiz. I've interviewed the guy on this channel. I brought John Ruiz on last year or the year before. I think it might have been 2 years ago. We had John Ruiz on the channel. Nice guy. He offered to fly me out to a game, give me some of the best seats in the house. He was going to pay for all of it. He said, Coop, I'll pick you up in my private jet. Just let me know when and where. Super, super nice guy. Big time Miami fan. But he struggled to be able to tell if people were trolling him or not on social media. And opposing teams' fans caught on to that, and they would get him all riled up. So like Florida fans, Florida State fans, and a bunch of them, they would tag John Ruiz and stuff on Twitter. And they were doing like these photoshopped images of him, and he would be like, that's not me. But he wasn't trolling back. He thought they were serious. So it's something where I think then they told him, yo, bro, you got to chill out. And once Canes Connection was formed and stuff, he was able to take a back seat and not be the kind of the face of all of it. Lucas is a South Florida kid. He was recruited by Miami. His father had health issues. Miami is where he wanted to be. Yes, he did. He did want to come back to Florida. But it's still, and I see what you're saying, my friend. I know what you're saying. But it is something that I still just want to talk about and get people's thoughts and opinions on it, because it is still something that's being put out there, right? It doesn't change the fact whether we say it's BS or not, whatever people's opinions are, it's still going to be all online. That is still their plan at this point in time. They're trying to pursue legal action, or at least thinking about it, because they're putting the statements out. So we're just discussing it. We're just discussing it. As Canes fan who lives here in Florida and Chicago native, the state is full of Big Ten fans and alums. Also, Miami and FSU are Eastern time. Yeah, now I wouldn't be one of those. Look, I'll never be one of those guys that's like, SEC. I don't even have conference pride now. I don't care about the ACC. I won't care about the Big Ten if they went there. I won't care about the SEC if they go there. I just care about Miami. I know that you want the conference to do good because of money things and all this stuff. I get it, but I just don't have a ton of conference pride. I just don't. Counter sue them. Ralph says counter sue them. Wisconsin. I like that. I like that. Wisconsin and old Dick Fickle. Or Luke. Luke Dickel. Luke Dickel? Yeah. Take it all the way to the Supreme Court. Make an example out of them, right? You want to sue us? We'll show you. But man, they took the time. They took the time again, like for people that are just tuning in with the full official statement. and again, the backing of the Big Ten. But my official prediction with this, which carries no weight, just my prediction and my thoughts. I think in the end, I think nothing really comes of this. I think there's a lot of talking. I think that there's some people within the Wisconsin program that are pissed off. And it doesn't mean that they might not take a couple of steps to make some things happen. But I think maybe if they really step back and take a look at the money and resources and things that will be wasted on this, I do firmly believe, like a lot of you were saying early in the stream, that this might just be something to rile everyone up, to get some eyes on this portal stuff and NIL stuff, and to try to jumpstart some changes. I don't really see this going all the way through court, getting to a jury, all that stuff, but that's just my opinion, my prediction. Anything could happen. But they are definitely pushing it. They're doubling down, and the Big Ten is in there with them. And that's what we said, right? That's what we said. Anybody can sue for anything. I could sue you right now. I could call up a lawyer and send you a letter and sue you right now. If we wanted to. Going to be a younger donor, not an older one. What's up, legend? Good to see you, bro. So it's funny because we've only been live for 45 minutes. And that's really all that I have to say about it. So what we can either do is I could open up the phone line and get some thoughts on that. Or I do have another conversation that we could have here that I think would be pretty interesting. I'm going to do a video on this topic. Not what we just discussed, but a video on this next topic. I don't know if I want to save it for a video or actually just discuss it with you guys and see what you think. I could get some initial thoughts. We could do both. We could do some initial thoughts on this topic, plus continue to discuss the legal side of this stuff. It's all good. It's all good, legend. Maybe they'll fix it eventually. Don't care about the logical explanations because Miami will never succeed in football in the Big Ten Conference. Well, let's hope and pray they don't go there. Let's hope they don't go there. Yep. So the next topic that I wanted to discuss, and we don't have to dive super deep. I did want to ask you guys, how's your health, bro? Pretty good. Finally, man. It's amazing what removing 2 kidney stones from your body will do for you. You know what I mean? Yeah, when you're not pissing blood anymore and feeling really drained, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. So what I wanted to ask you guys, Miami fans, all right, I'm speaking to Miami fans specifically here, and I want you to think about it. And I won't ask you the question without giving my opinion on it as well. I wouldn't do that to you. What is your minimum, keyword minimum here, expectation for Mario and Miami in the 2025 season? Now, hold up. For real, hold up just a second before you type it. I'm not even necessarily meaning wins and losses specifically, but it could be that. So it's different for every person. It might be 10 wins for you, 9 wins, whatever that may be. It might be ACC championship game appearance. It might be ACC championship game victory. It might be making it to the college football playoffs, because there can be a lot of variables that factor into getting to whatever this minimum expectation is from you. And I know that it's going to be different for everybody. I'm not talking about your prediction. So if you say, all right, well, Coop, Miami's going 10-2 this season. No, not your prediction. I'm talking about what it takes for you to say, you know what? I'm okay with this season. I'm okay with this. Mario Cristobal is going into year 4. He lost 5 ACC games in 2022, 5 in 2023, cut that down to 2 in 2024, but everybody got their hopes up and then kind of got let down on the tail end of things. 5 wins, 7 wins, 10 wins. Continues to climb. A positive upward trajectory here for the program when we're talking just purely wins here. So what for you? Take a second. Take a second here. What is your minimum expectation? Because some people it's going to be way higher. Some people say, Coop, it's natty or bust. But I'm talking realistic here. Realistic minimum expectation for Mario and Miami for you to say, you know what? This guy, he's not on the hot seat. He makes me pretty upset with his game day coaching sometime, but you know what? It's fine. We're okay. What is it for you? What is it for you? I have something in mind for me. Long distance traveling, snow, and exactly. Yeah. So Swag Kane says minimum is an ACC championship appearance. Okay. Mickey beating Florida State and winning at least 6 games, regardless of injury status. I like that. What if Carson Beck goes down? Minimum, beat Notre Dame, Florida, and FSU, and have a winning record. Winning the ACC and making a playoff run from Colton. At the minimum, go undefeated and win the Natty from Tropical. Let's see. Winning the ACC in the playoffs would be nice if possible. Is that, Robin, is that your minimum expectation out of this year's squad? Alex wants 10. You could be convinced 9 is okay, depending on how we lose, but you want 10. You want 10. Okay. Salty says win the ACC. For me, I don't know if this is a really high bar to set, but I truly think that for me in 2025, now again, we're talking minimum here. Bare minimum, what I have to see. Miami has to, at the very least, split the Notre Dame and Florida games. I would prefer to win both of them, but I need Miami to win at least one of those games. Those are non-conference games, and the key to me for 2025, I'll just be honest with you, is making it to the ACC championship game and hopefully winning it. The conference is way more important to me than these big primetime non-conference games. I know it's a bad look if you lose them, but you can bounce back from a Notre Dame loss, losing to the national championship runner-up. You can bounce back from that. You can still have a good season. You could lose to Notre Dame and Florida and still run the table in the conference, make the ACC championship game, and win it and be in there. But what I would really like to see, if it seems like Miami is continuing to improve, is they need to win at least one of those games. If they can't win both, I need to see them win at least one of those. I'm not predicting that. I'm not saying that they only need to win one of them, but I'm saying my minimum expectation, what I expect, and I need to see is winning at least one. Notre Dame or Florida. But give me both. But they got to win one of them. This is a two-step one for me. And Miami does need to make an ACC championship game appearance. I will continue to harp on the importance of making it to the conference championship game this season. You cannot have a team like SMU come in and in their first season make it to the conference championship game before you do, with as long as you've been in the ACC. I know the whole 2017, blah, 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 whatever. But even they made that more of a game against Clemson than what Miami did back in 2017. So you have to win at least one of those games, Notre Dame, Florida. You got to make it to the ACC championship game. If they win it, yeah, sure, that'd be great. I would love for them to win it, of course. I'm a Miami fan. I need them to win it. But they have to at least, minimum, they have to make it this season. And some people, when I mentioned that, I was talking to some people, and they were like, "Dang, Coop, like I know that Miami won 10 last year, but look at that schedule, bro. It does look more difficult on paper, but it doesn't change the fact that they still need to be in that ACC championship game this season. There's going to be some questions. Heatherman's defense, is it really going to look better? Can Carson Beck come out there and sling the ball around? We know he has experience, so I'm not worried about that. I think it's fair to have that be set as the minimum. I don't see anything wrong with that. So here's something that I like to discuss. I love discussing this. Thank you for bringing this up, FSU Gnome. He says, y'all have the cupcake schedule last year and number one QB in the draft and couldn't get it done. You're right. Miami shit the bed. They lost to a Georgia Tech team that had a one-armed quarterback. They threw the ball like 16 times, and we blew a 21-point lead against Syracuse. Embarrassing. And you had a generational quarterback, something that doesn't come around real often. You had an offense that was number one in the country and in more categories than I can count. But here's why this doesn't matter. You could argue that Miami can't get it done this year because if they had the number one offense last year with the number one quarterback taken in the NFL draft, so that means there's no way, since it would technically, people are going to say Carson Beck is a downgrade, and I think at the end of the day he is, but that doesn't mean he's bad. We're just, if you're trying to compare them, not everything carries over from season to season. So my point is that doesn't necessarily matter. If that's the case, that would mean, by that logic, that if you won 6 games last year and your schedule is tougher this year, why even play? You can't win them. The schedule is tougher. You only won 6 last year. Why even play them? What's the point? Or also, if you were to lose, let's say Miami loses to Notre Dame. Notre Dame is probably one of the better football teams on the schedule. Why even play any of the other ones? You already lost to Notre Dame. They're better. So why even play them? Just cancel the rest of the season. It just doesn't work that way. So I understand where you're coming from, but not everything carries over from season to season. So if Miami had the same team and everybody else had the same team and they ran the same offense and same defense and it was the same weather on game day and it was at the same stadium, then maybe you could make that argument. That it happens to where a team can come out and just because the schedule looks tougher on paper and they lost the number one quarterback, they could come out and still have a heck of a season. Maybe they don't. But I'm just saying they could. You can't say never. Can't say never. Why did I highlight you getting trolled after the last show? Did I? Good to see you, Katie. Okay, this links into why the tampering is coming into play, so we could take your phone call. Yeah, but I know I'm trying to like make an example out of what you said. You know, it's nothing but love for me, bro. It's nothing but love. I just find it funny because I see that argument on social media. Any Miami fan that puts out a prediction that says ACC championship game, the immediate response from opposing teams' fans are, you didn't do it last year, that means you can't do it this year. You took a step back in that quarterback room. So that means you won't do it this year. It just doesn't work that way. But you might be right. They might not. They might not. There are a lot of question marks here when it comes to Heatherman's defense. Yeah, he works some magic at Minnesota, but can he do the same thing here? And why is it making these? I think I have to put a character limit on it. I wonder if that's why they're like massive. 904 Hurricane says Corey Heatherman is going to have a huge impact on the Canes. He's the perfect fit for our athletes. Miami fans won't have to worry about Miami sealing the edges. Heatherman's defense excels at that. He's a high energy guy. I think he's someone who will break it down in a way that the guys can, grasp the defense. I do believe it's an upgrade. It'll just be how much can he do in year number one, because you do want to take advantage of having an experienced guy like Carson Beck on the roster at that quarterback position again. You want to make the most of it. And I still think whether you think Dawson plays a big part in the success offensively for Miami or not, if again, I talked about this last stream, if Carson Beck comes out and it's looking like he's going to be the number one draft pick, or let's not even say number one, let's say first round, I think there's a good chance that Dawson is gone after this season, because he's still going to get a lot of credit because he's calling the offense. He's coaching up the quarterbacks. So you can say, well, Cam Ward made Dawson look good. Carson Beck made Dawson look good. At the end of the day, he's still the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. So I think there is a chance that he maybe takes like a head coaching job even at a lesser program to get that bump up in the title. I know a lot of coaches, I just don't see anybody staying at Miami if they're a coordinator for like 5 years. I just don't think, I just can't. Like 3 years, 4 years, maybe once you start getting close to 5, then I think that they end up going somewhere else. And you take that opportunity, because then you don't know what next year is going to look like because of the transfer portal, but you might not have another experienced Ward, an experienced Carson Beck, What year does Miami quit quarterback shopping? I don't know, man. I don't know. I know that everybody says, okay, well, what's his name? Darion Coleman is the real deal. We really like that guy, or the other young guy that's on the roster. You know who I'm talking about. But in today's college football, you just don't know. You don't know. Yeah, man, good to see you, bro. I'm glad you can go back and forth with me. That's why I pinned that up and we talked about it. I know you can go back and forth, so I appreciate that. It would be nice to bring in a franchise quarterback. Thank you for the sub, Armin. Somebody that can stay at Miami for at least 3 years. That'd be really cool. I'd like that. So let's see. Nick says he has something he wants to say kind of about this whole Wisconsin stuff. Frick those guys, right? Whether you think Miami's in the wrong or not, most of us are Miami fans, so we don't want to see Miami going through these legal battles and having their name tossed out on social media like that in bad light. Let's see. I have not turned on the phone line in a minute. It has been a minute. All right, let's see if we can get it working. But I appreciate all the feedback with everything, with the Wisconsin stuff, with the minimum expectations. I'm planning on posting a video tomorrow or Sunday, just kind of diving deeper into the minimum expectation argument. Because for people who miss the live streams and just want to watch the shorter format of videos, I want to get their I want to get their opinions and stuff on it too, just to see where everybody stands, because it's all over the place this year. Again, so many people say we don't have Cam Ward. Some people say it's Heatherman. This is a massive upgrade. Some people say, well, we got to see it because it's his first year. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Sunday is Panthers parade, so probably do it Saturday. Luke Nickel is going to be the truth. See, that's the thing. Darion Coleman, Luke Nickel, those guys get a lot of praise from the fan base and the coaching staff. But we'll see if they get in there and stay, because you have the poaching and all that stuff. All right, I got it open. It should be open, Nick. Congrats to the Panthers, man. That's right. I'm not a hockey guy, but no more Emery. I don't think Emery's that dude. You know what I mean? Yo, Nick. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been several minutes.
Yeah, several minutes. Months specifically here. So what do you got for me? You mentioned that you might have some thoughts on this Wisconsin stuff and the lawsuit that maybe ties in with some stuff with the season this year for Miami.
Yeah, the funny thing I think about the Wisconsin stuff, and I was laughing with other FSU fans about it, I don't really think it goes anywhere just because, like with the FSU ACC Clemson thing, I won't bore you with, like, I could tell you up and down why I thought FSU had a better case. And it's not because I was biased or something. But the reason FSU and Clemson got like 80% of what they wanted out of that is because of discovery. Dirty laundry and skeletons in the closet are going to shut people up quick.
Yeah.
But it still took a year and a half to get to that point. So, what is Wisconsin's goals and intentions with doing this? To stop people from tampering with their players? To get established precedent? So it really depends on what they're gonna dredge up. But I think everyone's tampering like crazy because, frankly, this is a talent acquisition sport.
Mm-hmm.
Miami had a putrid defense. Period. End of story. It was the reason.
I want to say
why,
even worse words, but I can't say those on the internet. Go ahead. Sorry.
Right, I do too. It was the sole reason why there was not an ACC berth and not a playoff berth. So coaches don't have infinite time. For my squad, Norvell has a losing season. He's out the door. We're going to find the money to get a new coach. Mario can't mess around with like, oh, here's the best quarterback. He's going number one. Oh, here's Carson Beck. He's going top 5 or whatever, and get nothing out of it. So he's addressing the defense. He's doing exactly what his job is to do. Get the roster to a point to win football games. He's using the tools he has in a very scattered environment. Because what are the rules? Like, who can tell me anything about any of these contracts actually being legit? Every time the NCAA tries to swing a hammer on the kids, they sue, and NCAA loses. That's been established precedent on and on and on, going like 6 years now. So I don't really see what Wisconsin can get out of this, other than a shot across the bow. Hey, stop messing with our roster because we're going to call you out now.
Yeah. You're not wrong. I'm not going to lie. I didn't think about that side of it. Purely just speaking from a standpoint of like getting your players poached or teams reaching out and trying to contact them. You're right. No, nobody's going to try to contact Wisconsin players. That they're going to call you out and put you on blast and say they're going to sue your collective and the university. So yeah, nobody's going to even get anywhere close to messing with Wisconsin players, at least not for the foreseeable future.
Well, all the middle kind of tier teams, no disrespect to Wisconsin, but anyone without the money and the aspirations to actually play big boy ball is frustrated because this is happening. The best example I can point to is Wake Forest. They were really good with Sam Hartman. They were really good with that coach. They were beating us like they had a 4-year win streak. They actually had a program that was going the right direction. NIL comes out, they tank. Why? People are poaching their players like crazy. Wisconsin too, but Wake Forest is like a farming school.
Yeah.
As much as they wouldn't want to admit that. And you can point to every league has those kind of teams that are just kind of mid and they get their players poached. Kentucky, Wisconsin has mentioned number of ACC schools. So it just kind of is what it is, and they're doing what they can to fight back. But I don't know what they can actually get other than maybe making some precedent. But I think, as Chris kind of mentioned in chat, it's going to take years of that.
Yeah.
Like, it could take 2 or 3 years if they even take it that far. And getting through discovery is not fun for anyone.
Yeah.
It gets people to back off as fast as possible.
Yeah, it just doesn't really seem like if they wanted to see this to the end and really fully pursue it, that it would be worth the time and resources to do so.
No, and the whole ACC FSU thing was so frustrating because it's like, okay, here's a hearing. Well, what did we get out of the hearing? We need to amend some language, and I'll see you in 3 months. Like, oh my God, why is this court process so slow? The only people that make out like bandits in this process are the lawyers.
Yeah, true.
Billable hours are undefeated. That is
Yep.
one of the biggest things I learned on
You're not
law
wrong.
school.
Yep.
Billable hours, fully undefeated.
No matter what, they're making money. So
Yeah, and they're more than happy to mess around, and because it's not like the schools don't have the money or the conferences. So
yeah. All right. Well, Nick, you got any other closing thoughts about anything?
no, but I'm excited for this attempted Doak takeover. I've driven past the stadium every day. It looks amazing. The football facility looks amazing. We actually have sod down. We have the whole wall rebuilt. So yeah, Doak's gonna look like fire when you guys come.
Gonna be here before we know it.
Oh, God, yeah.
Looking forward to it, man.
Wake up at game day.
Looking forward to getting a W at Doak. Nick, I appreciate you calling in, man. It was good to talk to you.
Yeah, take care.
All right, see you, bro.
Bye.
Doak takeover. Doak takeover. Don't forget, 2025. We're taking over that stadium, guys. This is my back shooting troll. Based on the search results, it appears you might be looking for information about the YouTube channel goldjacketloot.aka. He has some channel about... Wait, what? I don't know. I don't know what that's about. Maybe I missed part of the conversation here with that. So I was hoping that we could get Chris Gaffney on here, but I don't know. He said he was having dinner, so I don't want to interrupt that. I mean, it's Friday night. He's probably chilling with the fam. But that really is, after kind of talking it out for a few minutes, getting some different thoughts and opinions and stuff, and really just kind of letting it simmer a bit, I do think that I agree with most everybody else. That I just don't see a whole lot happening, at least to Miami specifically, in this scenario. There is a chance that it does create some changes and stuff, and help get the ball rolling with that. But I don't necessarily see anything specifically coming down on Miami and Miami getting some sort of sanctions, or I don't know. Maybe they try to slap them with a fine or something to make it look like that they tried to do something. But time will tell. We'll see. As many people have said, it would be a long time. It would be a very long time before anything serious happened. I'm going to get a hot dog combo at the corner. If you say hi to me, it would make my Friday night. Jorge or George, we go through this at least every 2 to 3 months. Ortiz, enjoy that hot dog, bro. A hot dog sounds good right now, but I would want to grill it. That's the problem. I don't want to... Like when y'all make a hot dog at home, time out football talk. If you make a football at home, how are you cooking it? Are you boiling it? Are you putting it in a pan and frying it? Are you grilling it? What are you doing? Because if I can't grill it, I'm probably not eating it. I'm just being honest. I mean, even the George Foreman is an upgrade over just boiling it. Boiling it, it's just whatever. Come on, how you eating them wieners? Don't be shy. We're all family here. I'll stick with George if that's cool, because I'll remember that one. I'll remember George. Don't tell me y'all microwaving wieners out here, because I'm about to start banning people. You can make it in a non-stick frying pan on low. I got some hot dogs in there. I got some hot dogs in the fridge, all beef. All beef, not that weird.
This is what it take.
Not the mixture.
On the side of your helmet.
Co-op why Wisconsin booty hurt tears of joy I'm just getting here.
Well, you see, Glenn, they don't want teams poaching their players any longer. Glenn, thank you very much for the 5, my man. Good to see you. they're just a little butthurt is all. They just can't seem to let it go, and they want to make an example out of Xavier Lucas and Miami, and they want to see change happen, even though Glenn, I'll sit you atop the throne. Thank you for the love, my man. Biggest D of the night. Biggest D of the night, Mr. Glenn. Can't believe everybody's so shy about how they cook their wieners.
This is what it take
This is crazy.
to wear the U on the side of your helmet.
Didn't they get one of ours players too?
Yeah. Tyler Van Dyke. Are they not thankful? They had him for a season. They had him for a season, and he had that unfortunate injury, and now he's backing up Jennings at Mini Miami. Rhett Lashley. Crazy. Can't be just thankful for anything. Sit down and shut up and be thankful. Thank you, Glenn. I appreciate the love. No chance of that Big Ten invite now. And see, the thing is, for me, I don't care because I don't want to go into the Big Ten. So for me, Miami getting sued or having a lawsuit on their hands is not looked at as a good thing, as we said, for all the various reasons, the publicity, blah, 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 all that stuff. But I don't want to go to the Big Ten. So if the Big Ten says, piss on you, Miami, screw you guys, good. Frick you too. We don't want to go there. Yeah, George Foreman's are great. They're great. The new enforcement committee would probably be in charge of the sanctions. Will they make an example of their first with harsh penalties? Yes. They probably will. I think so. Dang, George giving me a full breakdown. That's what I was looking for. All beef, cook it, and egg the meat. Cooks in about 8 minutes, conserves more flavor. Mashed up tater chips, onions, whatever that word is, over the dog. Sounds like too much work for me, George. Let's see. What do you think starting linebacker and defensive line situation? Got Kamal off the edge, Tor in the middle, and Wesley Wiley Popo playing somewhat flex. I would dive deep into that, Drock. That sounds like I'm gatekeeping here. I have a video coming up where we're going to start diving into the depth chart stuff and predictions and things. So I'm gonna save it for that, but that's not bad. That's not bad. There's some stuff that I agree with that, Drock. For sure. Yeah. 100% of America is scared of the thought that Miami is back. Man, just give me an ACC championship game. Is it in Charlotte again this year? When does that change? They had it locked in for a while. ACC championship game is held at Bank of America Stadium. Yeah. This has been the location for the game for the past several years and is scheduled to remain so through at least 2030. I'm not mad at it because it's a 2-hour drive. It's a 2-hour drive for me. So make that conference championship game while Coop can just make a little mini road trip and go there and see Miami get a W. Look who it is. Look who it is. Might be about time to wrap this thing up, y'all. I think we're Peanut has arrived. He probably hopes that Miami gets sued into oblivion and they just completely destroy the program. Burn it down. Take it away. You can't have them getting in the way of Alabama and the Crimson Tide. What's up, Peanut? So short of possibly Chris Gaffney making an appearance here and ringing the phone, we'll probably wrap it up here in a minute. I was going to open up the phone line, like fully blow it open and take some calls, but we've really kind of talked about everything. We're waiting for the virtual season to start to get us through July and August. And again, just the hypothetical machine. Next week, I'd made some notes for something here. Next week, we're going to do the ACC tier list. So that'll be next Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, where we go through like we did last year, and we briefly discuss every single team in the ACC, and we place them on a tier list. Contender, not a contender, and we go through trash, and we just break it down and see how close we can get. So that's the plan for next week. Peanut alert. In a pan or under the broiler. Is that where you turn on the top thing in the oven? I don't cook real often. Have you seen the QB mobility feature on CFB 26? I have. CFB 26 is shaping up to be a pretty badass game, it seems. I'm liking what I'm seeing. You hope they stop playing like bitches this year. Yeah, it'd be nice. It'd be nice. Hopefully Heatherman can inject some excitement into that defense. Guys can play fast, and they don't have to overthink it. That's the thing. I think that it seemed like that happened a lot with Guidry. I don't even know that it was necessarily too complex. It's not that the players were too stupid to run the defense. I think maybe he was just kind of a bad teacher. I think that at times Guidry got bailed out by some players that were on the roster the year before. I think he was maybe just a bad teacher and not the best at making adjustments. And it made it tough for the players. It's a little bit of both. Miami was lacking in some areas with some of the players. Miami got hit with the injury bug. Miami was dealing with a lot defensively last season. A lot of really, really bad. But again, I like Heatherman. But it's you got to show me. You got to show me, bro. I got to see something. Yep. Yeah, it's going to be, man, I can't wait. It's like every week, I always struggle to come up with topics for these types of streams because I love just hanging out with y'all. So I want to be streaming every week, multiple times. But man, it's tough when you're talking about lawsuits and what's your prediction for this and could Miami do this? I'm ready for it to be a recap of the game that happened last week. I want to be talking about the matchups tomorrow. The strengths and weaknesses of our opponent. Like, that's what I like. That's what I like. The predictions, that's my bread and butter. That's my jam. That's what I live for. The actual games being played. It's like I'm not a huge fan of recruiting, but I'm a fan of pen to paper. I want to see the games. Yeah, exactly. But I did just want to speak on it. We'll wrap this thing up. I just wanted to speak on it because not everyone's on social media. Not everyone sees these things. So I wanted to just make it known for Miami fans and give people an opportunity to give their opinion on it because that's very important to me. I want to give a shout out to Top Dono of the Night. My good friend Glenn popped in with the $4.99. Also hit me with the $1.99. Thomas Shearer re-upped that Canes fan membership. So did Robin B. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for that. And Tropical with the 305, calling out Wisconsin, giving them the middle finger. Thank you, Tropical. Thank you. I'll try to do that video tomorrow if I get an opportunity. And then, again, ACC tier list next Friday to look forward to. In about 2 weeks, 2-ish weeks, roughly, for the virtual season. So we have exciting things coming up. It's just still It's the off season. It's the off season, man. We're trying. We'll get there. Top fans this stream. I still don't know what the heck this means. But I like throwing y'all up there. Robin B, #1 fan. Tiger Paws 22, #2, and Thomas Shearer, #3. But you can see kind of the top 10, top 13 here. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for the love. What's up with the sim games? It's just because you can't edit the rosters.
This is what it take.
You can't edit the rosters in the new games.
Go Canes.
Let's go, Toxic Fart. My friend, my man. Thank you for the 2. How you been? You ready for the weekend? Spear Addicts Media as well checking in. What's going on, bro? We're on the tail end of it. We're wrapping up. We spoke our piece on it. But it's because you can't edit real players in the current versions of the game. So you know how when we would do NCAA 14, I would go in and we would edit the rosters. You would basically go in backdoor. And not really, this is extreme, but almost kind of like hack it, I guess. And go in and edit the rosters and make some adjustments and stuff. You can't do that in the current versions of the game. It's a live game. It's a live service thing. It's got the multiplayer servers and stuff. So for instance, I can't take Cam Ward out of the game and replace him with Carson Beck. It's not possible. So the new game's coming out is awesome. Very thankful for that. You know, something with new technology runs a little bit smoother. It's easier on the eyes, but it delays the start of the virtual season by an entire month. We have to wait for the new game to come out. So it comes out, I think it's like the 7th for early access, 10th, regular release date 7th. So that's kind of where we're at. Thank you again, Toxic Fart. Beat FSU, Florida, and compete for ACC title and win a playoff game. I could get behind that. But I'm gonna call it a night. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me for a couple hours here on a Friday. If you're just tuning in, leave a comment on the video after it uploads. Let me know your thoughts. Say whatever you want to say about Wisconsin, about Miami. If you're a fan of an opposing team, unfiltered.
This is what it take to wear the U on the side of your helmet.
Hey Co-op, can you give my daughters Ava and Ellie a shout out?
J-Dub. Of course. Should we make it kind of crazy, J-Dub? I'll sit you atop the throne, wrapping up the stream. Let's get to each of them. Ava! I don't know. That might have sounded kind of bad. I'm not sure. Ellie! Thank y'all. Hey, Ava and Ellie. I appreciate you. Thank you, J-Dub. Thank you for the 5. Ava and Ellie, are they Canes fans? Do they root for the orange and green? The greatest team in college football history? I would like to hope so. Thank you for the love, though, J-Dub. I appreciate you. I'm gonna throw up the outro screen. Y'all have a good weekend. Be safe. Now, guys, y'all would have been mad if someone tampered with a Miami player. I mean, they do and have. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. I do get mad when it happens. I think firmly that Bama tampered with Horton. I don't think I would sue them, if I'm being honest. I do not think I would. I don't think that I would push for Miami to sue whatever team did it. Maybe put them on blast. Maybe you do call it out. But as fans, I feel like we've been doing that. We've said tampering's been a thing for forever. You just adapt. You find some new way to tamper. When they come out with some rule where they feel like they can watch this or that, you just evolve. You just find a new way. You know, the McDonald's bag stuffed full of money probably worked for a little while till they figured it out. Now Tennessee had to come up with a new way to get them in there, you know? So I see what you're saying. But I try to put them on blast to the point of the lawsuit and the... I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm throwing up the outro. Love y'all. Be safe. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you around. I'll be somewhere. You can follow me right there on Twitter, on X. We're always getting into some interesting conversations and stuff over there. Y'all know what to do.